Welcome to the class of high voltage engineering. In high voltage engineering, we perform various tests on insulating material, that is dielectric medium. The various dielectric mediums are gaseous, solid, liquid and composite. In this session, we will study the breakdown phenomena in gases. The contents of today's sessions are: first we will study about what is dielectric breakdown, then we will study on which factors the electrical breakdown depends, then we will study the breakdown in gases. So while studying this breakdown in gases, Townsend's current growth equation is very important. So Townsend's current growth equation will be studied in detail in this session, and finally we will conclude this session by Townsend's breakdown criteria. So what are the various types of insulating media? So we know the various types of insulating medium are gaseous, solid and liquid and composite. We are now interested in studying the breakdown mechanism in gases. So air is the most commonly used dielectric, that is insulating medium. Other insulating materials are also available, such as nitrogen, dichloro-difluoromethane, which is commonly known as freon, carbon dioxide and sulfur hexafluoride. What is the meaning of dielectric breakdown? Whenever we apply voltage stress to a particular dielectric material, then there is a limit up to which it can sustain that voltage stress, beyond which it loses its dielectric property and starts conducting. So dielectric breakdown is the failure of insulating material, that is the dielectric medium, to withstand an applied electric stress, that is the electric field, which is due to the applied voltage. Now what are the factors on which dielectric breakdown depends? It depends upon the composition of dielectric material, presence of impurities, imperfection in the dielectric. Then it also depends upon the pressure, humidity, temperature. It also depends upon the electric field configuration, shape of the electrodes, their size and gap distance. It also depends upon the electrode material and the duration for which the voltage stress is applied. It also depends upon what is the magnitude and wave shape of the applied voltage, means whether it is AC, DC, surge impulse or lightning impulse. Then what is breakdown voltage? The maximum voltage applied to the insulating material at the moment of breakdown is called as breakdown voltage. What exactly happens during the breakdown process? The breakdown process starts due to the buildup of high current, that is due to the process of ionization. In the process of ionization, ions are created from the neutral atom or molecules, and their migration to the anode and cathode respectively leads to high current. So now it is clear that what is breakdown voltage? The maximum voltage applied to the insulating material at the moment of breakdown is called breakdown voltage. Now let's study the Townsend's current growth equation. For studying this Townsend's current growth equation, figure shows two electrodes, cathode and anode, separated by a distance d and supplied by a high voltage source, and there is also a current limiting resistor. For clearing more about this concept, the figure 2 shows two electrodes, cathode and anode, separated by a distance d, and we are assuming that electrons will move from cathode to anode At initially the number of electron present when x equal to 0 is nx equal to n naught, and when they reach the anode then that nx will become nd. At any distance x from the cathode, let the number of electrons be nx. So the variation of current as a function of voltage was studied by Townsend. He found that the current at first increased proportionality as the voltage is increased up to a limit, and then it rises exponentially. It can be shown graphically. From the graph it is clear that as up to a particular limit we go on increasing the voltage, then the current remains constant, but after a certain limit it increases exponentially. Then the variation of current as a function of voltage was studied by Townsend. This we have already discussed. So Townsend introduced a coefficient alpha known as Townsend's first ionization coefficient. What is alpha? The number of electrons produced by an electron per unit length of the path in the direction of the field. Now assuming that n0 electrons are emitted from the cathode initially, when an electron collides with the neutral particle, a positive ion and an electron are formed. This is called as ionizing collision. At any distance x from the cathode, let the number of electrons be nx. When these nx electrons travel a further distance dx, they give rise to alpha nx dx number of electrons. But at x equal to 0, nx will be equal to n0. It is clear from the figure. We can see from the figure that when x equal to 0, nx is equal to n0. Now these electrons will move towards anode, and during their travel from cathode to anode they will collide with the neutral gaseous molecule and ionize them, producing new ions and new electrons. In this way the process goes on repeating. So now we have dnx equal to the change in number of electrons. Dnx is equal to alpha nx dx. Rearranging the above equation, we get dnx by nx equal to alpha dx. Now integrating both sides, we will get the equation as given below. We also know that integration of dx by x equal to log base e x, which can also be written as ln x. Therefore integration of dx by x is equal to ln nx. Now ln nx is equal to alpha x plus a. Therefore the above equation becomes ln nx equal to alpha x plus a. What is a? A is the constant of integration. Now applying the initial condition, when x equal to 0, nx will be equal to n0. Substituting these values in above equation, we can calculate the value of a. Now substitute this value of a in the above equation. Substitute the value of a in the above equation. Ln nx equal to alpha x plus a. In that equation put the value of a. Now rearranging the terms, the equation becomes as shown in equation number 2, ln nx minus ln n0 equal to alpha x. Now we know that log of a minus log b is equal to log a by b. Therefore equation number 2 becomes ln nx by n0 equal to alpha x. Taking antilog on both sides, above equation becomes, now as we are taking the antilog on both sides, then log and antilog will get cancelled and this alpha x term will get to exponential term. Now the equation further reduces to nx equal to n0 e to the power alpha x. At x equal to d, the nx will become nd equal to n naught e to the power alpha d. So the average current in the gap is equal to the number of electrons traveling per second. Therefore, now the current equation is id equal to I naught e to the power alpha d. As we know that the number of electrons nd is equal to n naught e to the power alpha d are the total number of electrons traveling from cathode to anode. So the average rate of change of electrons, means that charges, is nothing but the current. So now that electrons equation is written in the form of current equation, where I naught equal to initial current. Equation number 4 is called as the Townsend's current growth equation due to primary ionization coefficient alpha. Remember one thing, that the total Townsend's current from cathode to anode is due to two coefficients. So equation number 4 is the Townsend's current growth equation due to primary ionization coefficient alpha. Okay. There are two ionization coefficient, primary ionization coefficient and secondary ionization coefficient. So this is the current. Equation number 4 gives the Townsend's current equation for primary ionization coefficient. Now we will calculate the current due to Townsend's secondary ionization coefficient. So now we know that the ionization process has been started. Between the cathode and anode, there are number of electrons. There are also positive ions. There may be some photons and there may be some metastable atom. So these three participants, that is positive ion, then photons and metastable atom, may produce their own ionization. In this way, the new electrons are further created, and these new electrons are called as secondary electrons. And the coefficient due to these three type of actions, that is due to the positive ion impact, due to the impact of photon and due to the impact of metastable atom, we will have a new coefficient that is called as secondary ionization coefficient, that is denoted by gamma. So now gamma will be equal to the sum of gamma 1 plus gamma 2 plus gamma 3, and gamma is called as the Townsend's secondary ionization coefficient. So now it is clear that the total Townsend current which will flow from cathode to anode will be due to two processes, primary ionization and secondary ionization. We will have two coefficient also, primary ionization coefficient alpha. For that we have already derived the current equation. Now we are going to derive the current equation due to secondary ionization coefficient, and the total current flowing from cathode to anode will be the sum of current due to primary ionization coefficient and current due to secondary ionization coefficient. So now for deriving how much number of electrons are traveling from cathode to anode due to secondary ionization coefficient, we are assuming that n plus be the number of electrons released from cathode, n plus be the number of electrons released from cathode due to positive ion bombardment, and n be the number of electrons reaching the anode, means total number of electrons reaching the anode we are assumed as small n, and let gamma known as the Townsend's secondary ionization coefficient, and it is defined as number of electrons released from cathode per incident positive ion. Here we are assuming that the secondary ionization is only due to the impact of positive ion. We may also consider the impact of photon or impact of metastable atom, but that will increases the number of variables. So for deriving the equation, current equation, we are assuming that the secondary electrons are only due to the impact of positive ion incident on cathode. So the total number of electrons reaching the cathode is given by equation number 5, n equal to n naught plus n plus e to the power alpha d. So what is small n? Small n is the total number of electrons reaching the cathode that have been ejected from cathode or created from the cathode due to the positive ion impact. Okay, so the total number of electrons reaching the anode will be n equal to n naught plus n plus e to the power alpha d. So now the total number of electrons released from the cathode is n naught plus n plus, and those reaching the anode are n. Therefore the number of electrons released from the gas are n minus n naught plus n plus, and corresponding to each electron released from the gas there will be one positive ion. Okay, so let us clear this point that the number of electrons ejected during the starting are n naught. The number of electrons ejected from cathode due to positive ion impact are n plus. But these electrons will travel towards the anode and collide with the neutral gaseous molecule and produce new electrons. So now the number of electrons will be, we have considered the total number of electrons reaching the anode are small n. So the new electrons created due to the collision to the gaseous molecule will be total electrons, that is n, minus number of electrons due to primary coefficient plus number of electrons due to positive ion impact. We are considering only positive ion impact. Okay, so the electrons ejected from the cathode are n naught plus n plus, and these electrons while traveling towards the anode creates new electrons. So there will be the total number of electrons reaching anode will be small n. So we are subtracting this initial number of electrons n naught and electrons ejected from cathode due to positive ion impact, this term from n, and the corresponding to each electron released from the gas there will be one positive ion. And assuming each positive ion releases gamma effective electrons from the cathode, then n plus, what is n plus? Number of electrons due to ejected from cathode due to positive ion impact will be given by gamma into n minus n naught plus n plus. Now n plus, again the equation can be simplified by multiplying the gamma. So gamma n minus gamma n naught minus gamma n plus. Now rearranging the terms, we will bring that minus gamma n plus on the left hand side. So now taking the n plus common and gamma common and rearranging the terms, we will get equation number 6. So n plus number of electrons. What is n plus? Number of electrons ejected from cathode due to positive ion impact. Remember that the secondary electrons may be due to positive ion impact, may be due to impact of photon, or may be due to the impact of metastable atom. But we are considering only the impact of positive ion. Okay. So what is n plus? N plus are the number of electrons ejected from cathode due to positive ion impact. So equation number 6 gives the number of electrons ejected from cathode due to the impact of positive ion on cathode. Okay, now substituting n plus in the equation number 5 for n, we have, so the total number of electrons n, small n, reaching the anode is given by n naught plus n plus. But what is the value of n plus? What is the value of n plus? The value of n plus we have just derived. The value of n plus is gamma n minus n naught upon 1 plus gamma. So now equation number 5 becomes, this is the equation number 5 which we have already derived, n equal to n naught plus n plus e to the power alpha d. Okay, so in this equation we are putting the value of n plus. So what is the value of n plus? The value of n plus is gamma n minus n naught 1 plus gamma. So now the equation number 5 becomes n equal to n naught plus, we are putting the value of n plus, the value of n plus is gamma n minus n naught upon 1 plus gamma into e to the power alpha d. Now simplifying this equation, 1 plus gamma is get multiplied with n naught, and so, and it is divided by the whole term, it is divided to the whole term. Now opening the brackets and simplifying, multiplying by n naught to the whole term 1 plus gamma, multiplying gamma to n and n naught, and cancelling the term gamma n naught and gamma n naught negative. So now the remaining term is only n naught and gamma n naught, gamma n. So now on the right hand side at the top we can see small n equal to n naught plus gamma n upon 1 plus gamma e to the power alpha d. Now again this equation can be simplified, multiply that small n at the top with n plus gamma, then n naught plus gamma n e to the power alpha d, then we have multiplied n to the bracket term, opening the bracket, n plus gamma n equal to n naught e to the power alpha d plus gamma n e to the power alpha d. Now again simplifying the above equation, we get the number of electrons n. So it is shown in the bracket, n equal to n naught e to the power alpha d upon 1 plus gamma 1 minus e to the power alpha d. Now again rearranging that term, the above equation can be written in the second box, can be written as in the second box. So it can be easily done by simplifying that equation. So now the total number of electrons traveling the distance d, that's why we are replacing that n term by nd. So therefore we are writing in the third box nd equal to n naught e to the power alpha d 1 minus gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1. So in terms of current, now the number of flow, these are the total number of electrons traveling from cathode to anode due to primary ionization coefficient alpha and also due to secondary ionization coefficient gamma. So now this is the total Townsend's current growth equation. It is given by id equal to I naught e to the power alpha d 1 minus gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1 in the fourth bracket at the bottom. Okay, so this much current will flow, total current will flow during this process of Townsend's current growth. So Townsend's total current is given by id equal to I naught e to the power alpha d upon 1 minus gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1, and it has both the coefficient. It has the current equation has both the terms, it has alpha also and it has gamma also. Okay, so this is the final equation for Townsend's current growth equation. So this much current will flow before the breakdown of the gaseous insulating medium. We are considering the gaseous electric insulating material between the gap. Between the gap means between cathode and anode, as we are studying the breakdown of gases. So the insulating material between the cathode and anode is gaseous, that is the air. We have considered air as the gaseous insulating material for our study. Okay, now let us see what is the criteria for Townsend's breakdown criteria. What is the criteria for Townsend's breakdown? So we have just now we have derived the equation ID equal to I naught e to the power alpha d 1 minus gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1. This equation gives the total average current in the gap before the occurrence of breakdown. As the distance between the electrode d is increased, the denominator of the equation tends to 0. Okay, since it is in the exponential term, so as the distance between the electrode d is increased, the denominator of the equation tends to 0. How it will happen? That 1 minus 1 will get 0. Okay, in that way it can be proved that that term 1 minus gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1 will tend to 0. Okay, at that time infinite current will flow and the breakdown of the gaseous insulating material will occur. So but it will take at a particular distance. So that distance is called as sparking distance. That distance is called as sparking distance. So from now we conclude that the denominator term 1 minus gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so that is the condition for Townsend's breakdown. That term 1 minus gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1 should be equal to 0. Then only infinite, that term will be 0 means in the box I naught e to the power alpha d will be divided by 0. So anything divided by 0 means infinite. So infinite current will flow from cathode to anode and the breakdown of the gaseous insulating material will occur. Now below the equation number A, for values of d less than ds, if the value of d is the distance between cathode and anode, is less than ds means the spark over distance, I is approximately equal to I naught. And if the external source for the supply of I naught is removed, I becomes 0. If d equal to ds, this is the second condition. So what is the first condition? If d is less than ds, then I is approximately equal to I naught. Very small current will flow. At what is the condition? When d is less than ds. Below equation number A, you can see when d is less than ds, I is approximately equal to I naught. And if the external source from the supply of I naught is removed, I becomes 0. Now second condition, if d is equal to ds, then at that particular required distance, I, that is the total current, tends to infinity and current will be limited only by the resistance of the power supply and the external circuit. This condition is called as Townsend's breakdown criteria and can be written as gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1 equal to 0. Now see equation number A and B. So that negative term 1 minus, that minus term if comes to the right hand side, then that can be written as gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1 equal to 0. Okay, gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1 is equal to 0, since that one term is been eliminated or it is avoided. Okay, so now normally E alpha d is very large and hence the above equation reduces to gamma e to the power alpha d equal to 1. For a given spacing and at a given pressure, the value of the voltage V, which gives the value of alpha and gamma satisfying the breakdown criteria, is called the sparking distance. Right? For a given spacing and at a given pressure, the value of the voltage V, which gives the values of alpha and gamma, because we know that the breakdown will occur only due to alpha and gamma. What is alpha? Alpha is the primary ionization coefficient and gamma is due to secondary ionization coefficient. Gamma is the secondary ionization coefficient, and these are required from the current equation. From equation number C, it is clear that gamma and alpha both are required for satisfying the breakdown condition. So these are the various breakdown conditions. The breakdown condition can be written in the form of equation number A, or it can also be written in the form of equation number B, and it can also be written in the form of equation number C. So from all these three equations, there is a term, there are both terms, gamma and alpha. So depending upon the condition, these are the various equation for Townsend's breakdown, or we can say these are the criteria for Townsend breakdown to occur. Okay, so first criteria is that the denominator term should be equal to 0. Second criteria is if we are neglecting that one minus term, then that gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1 is equal to 0. Then again that in place of that 0, it should be 1. Okay, please make a correction that in terms of that 0, it must be 1. Okay, because that negative term, if comes to this side, then there is a small mistake, that gamma e to the power alpha d minus 1 should be equal to 1. Okay, then further that 1 is now neglected, since e to the power alpha d is greater than 1. So now this equation becomes gamma e to the power alpha d equal to 1. So now finally we conclude that the Townsend's breakdown criteria depends upon equation number A, B and C. These are the various equations. Okay. As we know that when breakdown will occur, when there is a large current will flow between cathode and anode. This could be possible only if the denominator term is 0 in the box. Okay, so in this way, and having the different conditions of D and DS, these we have derived the various breakdown criteria, and at last finally we will conclude that for a given spacing and at a given pressure, the value of the voltage V, which gives the value of alpha and gamma, because if we are not providing the voltage, breakdown will never occur. While performing the experiment, we have considered that there is a source connected to cathode and anode. So we will go on increasing the voltage, and accordingly the value of alpha and gamma will be increased, and at a particular stage they will satisfy the breakdown criteria, that at a particular gap distance between the cathode and anode, and that gap distance is called as sparking distance. So this Townsend breakdown criteria is applicable to the product of at low pressure corresponding to the P into D values between 1000 torr centimeter and below. Okay, this criteria can be applied. This Townsend's mechanism can be applied only to those gases at low pressure corresponding to the P into D, that is the gas pressure into gap distance, values of 1000 torr centimeter. Torr is the unit of pressure. Okay, and below. For above 1000 torr centimeter, we will study the different theories. Okay, the other theories, in the other theories. Okay, so finally I conclude that So today we have studied the Townsend's current growth equation and also seen the Townsend breakdown criteria. In the next session, in the next my video lecture, we will discuss about Stemmer's theory and Paschen's law. So thank you for your patience listening. Thank you.